Well, good evening. Guten Tag. Can't say Guten Morgen because it's nighttime or evening time. But this is an episode of At the YMCA Parking Lot with Max Gamroth. No, Britiany Wines here. Ended up having a pretty decent day today, guys. I don't want to just put all my most, I don't even want to say embarrassing, but most intimate moments with mental health and just that sort of stuff on there. I think it's probably a good idea, especially if I get kind of heavy in the mornings, to try and circle back at night to let everybody know, hey, it's going to be all right today. So, something I have been trying to teach myself through this journey of mental health and wellness, with the nature of health anxiety or obsessive tendencies, you get fixated on things. And one of them is doom scrolling, where you're constantly looking for affirmations. And the ironic thing is you would think that you would be diligently and unmercifully searching and Googling and doing all the positive things about what you're fixated on. But no, you doom scroll and you get caught up on all of the bad things about what you're, could it be this? What's this ache? It's a terrible, terrible vicious cycle. So since I tend to fall into that loop at times, what I've been trying to do is change what I'm looking for instead of just, and believe me, this stuff was intense enough over the summer that I have just about looked at and I know enough to know that you only look at .govs, .edus, .org, stuff like that. It's more substantive. Okay, so I at least inform and educate myself with the best material, but instead of going and looking up all the bad, research, the positive things. So what I've been doing is learning more about cognitive behavioral therapy, just some different things that will help me and through me hopefully help others. Hey Phil, how are you, sweetheart? To do better for their day-to-day lives too. One of the things that I think scares a lot of people is our mortality. And, it's not so much the idea, I obviously know everybody dies, but just that lack of control. So what I've been trying to do is, again, just fill my brain with material and information and knowledge that will allow me to have a good day, or at least be equipped to try and have a good day, not just sit and obsessively think of a lot of stupid stuff. So, moving on from that, it was just a decent day, there's nothing better than just a nice, good work day. Teen leaders, awesome as usual. We were talking today, and really, I was trying to get them to really understand what civic engagement is and why it's important to be a young person civically involved. So we did a little research, we read some things together, and I'm very, very blessed because the kids that I work with and teen leaders, they really want to be there. And they know that some of the days teen leaders may be a funner activity where we're doing a lot of stuff and there's action and it's involved. And then today, then we'll have days like what today was, and it's called a work day. And they know when old Miss Brittany says it's a work day that we've got business to handle. There's information I need them to learn and things like that. And they stay very engaged. They do a really, really good job at absorbing what we're talking about. So it's a ton of fun. We were throwing around some ideas just very briefly on what we want to do for our service learning project. Those of you who have been following me for a while maybe remember last year the teen leaders group through a carnival fundraiser, and the proceeds went back to Mental Health America's summer lunch program, and which is awesome. Since I helped run that particular area of MHA with the food and whatnot, that was a great, great help because we, unfortunately, because of the location of our beautiful kitchen, it does not sit in the demographics of the free and reduced lunch to be able to get state funding in that world, so any money helps. But I think this year we don't want to always just raise money for stuff that is directly involving us. I want to make sure that they know a lot about other agencies and organizations and know that we have to help others. So that's kind of what we did today. And Then I rounded my evening out with getting together with my good buddy Max. We went to the Y. I think Thursday we're going to get together again, except we're going to go to the library. And I'm super proud of Max because through this journey of going to the Y and whatnot, you know, we've talked about being healthier. And, you know, as you know, Max and I have really enjoyed trying new foods or new treats and new snacks. But we both also know that always going for the junk and things like that, that's not necessarily the healthiest way to live. So that's why we brought the Y in. But my buddy Max, he said, I'm not really feeling like doing the Y again Thursday. He goes, what about the library? He goes, except we don't need to do all the snacking. I think that's great. You know, I love the fact that despite being a 12-year-old, you know, Max is far more wise above his years than, hell, a lot of the adults I know. But he gets it. And for us, it's not a weight thing. You know what I mean? I'd love to admit I'd love to lose a few more pounds. I lost quite a bit of weight and gained a number of those pounds back. But it's about me trying to be a healthier version of me, try to model some good habits for Max, you know, being a young man. That's part of what I'm doing with my respite care with him is, you know, being a positive influence. He's very blessed and lucky. He has awesome, awesome parents who have done such justice for this kid as far as just, you know, bringing him up right, despite him beaten by the tune of a different drum than other people do. This kid is just, it's amazing. I love my time with him. We were just planning out, since we won't be able to get together this weekend because we are headed to St. Louis for another basketball tournament. We were talking about how the following weekend he is ready to make the trip down to Hanover with me to check out Alexis's campus there, and I think that's going to be pretty awesome. I'm going to make some new t-shirts for us. He's going to get his very first Hanover shirt, so we are really excited for that. And I think we'll probably, knowing my buddy, and because it's going to be right before Christmas, I think I'm going to try and time it out so we can maybe, I don't even know so much about hitting Edinburgh. I know he's not super interested in that, but I think if there's a Dick's Sporting Goods in Columbus, Indiana, I imagine we will end up there. This boy keeps arguing with me, not so much an argument, but he is in love with the chambray color. It's like a bluish color, and I believe his grandma bought him jade. He constantly, this kid is throwing shade at me because I think the matte black Stanley is slick Rick. You know, it's pardon my French, it's a badass cup. I have yet made a purchase of a Stanley. I could if I wanted on multiple occasions. I don't know, man. I've got a Hydro Flask that I got a really killer deal on, and I tried to explain to Max. Hydro Flask was around, well, Stanley's been around forever because of the thermos, but Hydro Flask is just as bougie and nice as the Stanleys. I'm happy with my yellow Hydro Flask. He goes, but you don't have a straw. Man, that's okay. If I end up getting a Stanley, I think I'm going to go with matte black. I like that. Max says that's so basic, but it's not. Black is sharp, it's sleek. You know, for adults, you know, black is sexy. It's a nice, sexy black dress. You know, if you're a dress person, you guys, you know. Grown folks know. Black is sleek. Woo! So that's kind of a discussion Max and I have been having. So we'll end up hitting Columbus. If they have a Dick's there, or we'll try and figure out where they've got a stock of Stanley Cups in the Columbus, Indiana area. So I'll have to double check on that game time. That way we can maybe go down a little earlier so we won't be shuffling at night. Goodness, excuse me. I'm getting ready to go pick Dad up. I'm going to run a couple evening errands. Gosh, trying to think of anything else. It just makes me feel good to be able to get on here and have some positivity. You know, as much as I like talking to you guys, or when I say like, feel it's an important piece of my life to be so public about my struggles, because there's such a stigma about mental health, and I think people suffer in silence way more than they should. That stuff's heavy. Not everybody wants to hear and see that crap all the time. So when I can circle back with one of my goofy little videos about whatever, you know, whether it be Max or my kids or whatnot, I think that's a good thing. Hey, I'm going to get ready to sign off here, but if I can leave you with this, something I really tried to do today, and I'm going to try and make it a habit every day, You know, if you're finding yourself in a vicious circle of just sitting and worrying, you have to distract yourself. You know, the side of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I myself can recognize the fact if I'm going to keep researching and doing all this, it's not going to help me feel any better. It's only making it worse. So step away from that. Step away from whatever that vice is. All right, everybody. You have a fantastic Tuesday. God bless you all. Kick ass, take names. If you need me, you know where to find me. Peace, my friends.